We are?
He is the new Prince of Phoenix.
I'd be down with that.
It's a gangrel prince now.
It's
That's
a
his
gangrel.
form.
All hair the ferret.
All hail the
Yes.
ferret prince.
But he must go into his cage because he will bite my toes. Like, I'm okay with you biting my toes, but not when I am on alive and talking.
But mommy, I want to
Yeah,
play.
But when I'm cleaning, I don't mind it. He chases me while I clean, and it's very fun.
Weasel War Dance is the best.
I know. And
They're
Dookie.
fantastic.
Alright, well, yes. For all of you who are surprised, it is time, because technical difficulties set us back a half hour. And also, definitely totally not Arc running behind schedule, but it was mostly the technical difficulties, so we'll blame that. Hello, welcome, once more. It's time for us to tell another vampire story. I will remind everyone in our audience that Vampire the Masquerade is a mature role-playing game set in the world of darkness. If such things as gore, violence, sexual content, drugs, anything else that falls under our Malkavian's purview doesn't sit well with you or you're underage, you probably shouldn't be watching. If at any time it does cause you to become discomforted, take time to take care of yourself and step away until the scene is over. Also, do remember that we are playing monsters. It is okay to hate the characters, but don't take that out on any of the players or me as the storyteller, as I will be playing the worst of the worst throughout the entirety of our game. That being said, why don't we all take a moment to introduce ourselves, reintroduce ourselves for most of the coterie, and of course, Ark, you'll have a chance to introduce yourself properly. But why don't we go from left to right, starting at the top. Reese, who are you playing tonight?
Hello, everybody. I am Reese Drake, and I am playing Antonio Kincaid, a Spanish Tremere who was originally part of the Second Inquisition. He got turned by the people that he was serving and has escaped to the city of Phoenix seeking asylum, and is now under the very watchful eye of the prince and his shadow.
And then we'll drop it down to Cadence.
Good evening. I play Lucian of happy, carefree Malkavian, without a hint of bloodlust.
Not a one. We'll shoot it straight across to the middle for Kay.
Oh, hey, it's Kay. I almost messed that up. I am playing Viper, a gangrel, a snake boy, who doesn't talk a lot and wears a mask. For your guys' information, there's not a pandemic going on in this game.
That you know.
Not the proper way to wear your mask. That I know of. This is not the proper way to wear a mask, but he is hiding his mouth, and I do not feel like wearing my mask normally right now, so wear your mask correctly. It goes over the nose. Over the nose. And then you push little wires in so that it goes in.
They're actually not even really wires. We've broken down the ones at my job. They're basically the bread ties. Like that's why they don't
Wow.
That's why they don't stay on so well. The ones they send us and they tell
Hey,
us
if you need to seal your bread.
Yeah. They tell us that safety is paramount to them, and they give us tissue paper and bread wire to protect ourselves. That's how important we are.
I have an Eagles mask now.
We're not allowed to wear our own masks. We
That's
have to
stupid.
we have to use the ones they give us, and it's the worst.
But yes, that is me. I am Snake Gangrel, who doesn't talk a lot and wears a mask.
And then over across to Shay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shay, and I will be playing Callista Tiernos, a thin blood here in Phoenix under the watchful eye of the Camerilla. Trying to step lightly. Trying not to step on any toes.
And then, of course, our newest member, Ark.
Hello, everybody. I am Ark Survivor. I will be playing Olivia Wright, the Nosferatu from the canals.
All right. And so, tonight, glasses are feeling weird when I put them on. Sorry. Tonight we'll begin rewinding the clock a little bit. The coterie members have all had their time to get to know one another. At least the four of you have. You've done your first job, you get appointed by the Shadow, and you've turned in for the early morning. But as the clock dials back, we take a look at what Olivia had gotten himself up into. On Halloween night, the first night of the Day of the Dead, you didn't meet up with the others, so we can touch on where you might have been. So, what does our dear Nosferatu look like, and what are they currently up to in the late hours of October 31st?
Olivia is a unnaturally thin person with no hairs, pure black eyes, sharp pointed ears, and a set of just points for teeth. No real change in any of them. She's wearing a jacket, a scarf, and a pair of flannel pants with boots. Right now, I would imagine she's probably on a rooftop somewhere, waiting. On her shoulder is perched a small corvid, a jackdaw, to be specific.
Nice black feathered bird. So up on the rooftops watching, what in particular are you on the lookout for? Just people watching, sightseeing, anyone?
Right now it's people watching, seeing what the Kine are up to, seeing what... But she's also keeping an ear out for her sire.
Alright. And so, looking out, you see that this particular time of year is important in the Southwest. Most states that have a Latin origin often celebrate Dia de los Muertos, and the first night usually leads to street parties and people out in full costumes. You'll have to forgive the rattling, it's the dead trying to get in. There are lots of people on the streets. They're moving, partying, having a night parade that seems to have pulled into these late hours. Most people, especially in the area where your haven is situated, on the main river that cuts through Phoenix's downtown area and leads into Tempe, which is separated by a series of bridges. On one side is the Arizona State University. It's a popular party school, so of course all of the young teenagers and college kids are out enjoying the drinking, particularly the main strip of roads that houses a bar every, couple doors. So there's plenty of people out enjoying the revelry of the night. It would be
How many of them are in costume?
all of them, I imagine. I established, or we decided that most of the people, at least in this version of our world, respect the Day of the Dead a little more than Halloween. So maybe the college students are a mingle of costumes, but there is a vast majority of people in painted skulls and traditional Latino dance garb that fits the festive nature of the Day of the Dead. So there's a healthy blend. It's probably 1 in 5 are the college students who didn't quite get the memo that this was going to be a Day of the Dead street parade, but they came out to just party and drink, and so they're mixing parties, as it were. But you don't think there would be a very hard time to drop down and intermingle tonight?
I imagine that as she's been watching, she's actually gotten out a little makeup kit and has drawn a skull over her own face.
Mm-hmm.
And
Let's see just how convincing that can be.
I mean, she's not trying to hide what she is, really.
Mm-hmm. But we're going to just see how good the makeup looks when you put it on. So if you could please give me a... There was one for art, and I don't know where it went.
Probably craft.
Craft, yeah. Why don't you give me craft plus whatever trait you feel would work for putting on, like, makeup and face paint.
I'd imagine dexterity.
All right. Give me a dexterity craft. And this isn't going to be a hard target number. It is very much just accentuating.
That is as good as I could have gotten.
Not that you need to worry about it, because it still comes out pretty well. Yeah, so you look at inside your, like, Compax mirror, and it's like, it's a damn good job. You put on more of the spooky element given your Nosferatu nature, but it looks very good and very respectful to both holidays. It would be very easy for you to drop down and not be questioned at all.
And she's going to make her way down a nearby fire escape, just kind of not going down the stairs, but more just kind of like very fluidly climbing down.
Yeah, easy enough. I won't ask for a check. You're trained in it enough. And so you hit the ground, and down a back alley, nobody notices you emerge onto the main street. Are you looking for anything in particular? Still desire?
Yeah, keep an eye out for him, and I'm going to turn to the little bird perched on my shoulder. Take an eye to this guy. Tell me if...
Fuck you.
Oh, well, you heard him. He said, fuck you. Art, you got real quiet there.
I accidentally hit the little wheel on my mic. I do have feral whispers.
So it just says, of course, and it's taken flight and is in the air. So feral flight, does it have stats that I need to know about, or does it share yours?
It should take the stats of a bat, I would think. It's a smaller bird.
1 sec, I gotta open the book back up now. The joys of having all your stuff open before restarting your computer to fix problems.
If you want later, you can give me a character sheet and I can put in the stats.
Yeah, we'll do that. Bite. Let's see. Ah, yes, trying to filter. It just brings up every instance of combat. Sabot. I just need bat stats.
I'll copy and paste it into chat.
Well, if you have the numbers, just roll whatever it's,
Awareness?
yeah, it's wits awareness. Mm-hmm. 4 successes.
4.
Okay. And it's looking for your sire?
Yeah, keeping an eye out and also seeing if there's just anything unnatural.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so it's probably about 1 o'clock in the morning now. And so as it's taken to the sky, it disappears into the dark bluish black night sky, and it's watching. And within reach of you, it looks around, circles, and it's out of sight while you start moving down the streets and mingling. It's not long before a black luxury sedan makes its way down the road, and it pulls up to the side of where you are walking, and the back right side window rolls down, and you see that there's a man who pokes his head up to the window. You've met him once before. He introduced himself as Maxwell. He is the coterie Shadow. And he says, "Good evening, Miss Wright. You're looking festive."
Why, thank you. You're not looking too bad yourself.
Well, one always has to look good when you're out on the street. I had the privilege of meeting your coterie tonight. I understand that you were tied up for the moment and you couldn't attend the get-together, but know that they are eager to meet you.
As am I to them.
Good.
But it's hard to refuse a request that I got.
Indeed. Well, we'll be meeting again shortly. Tonight is yours to do with as you please. We'll meet back at the newest members' club, VtM. Do you know the way?
Would I know the way, actually?
It's up to you. If not, he can...
What area of the city is it in?
Scottsdale.
Probably. I think so. Yes, I do know the way.
Would you like a car sent, or will you manage?
Oh, I can manage, I'm sure.
Very well. I have some other business to attend to tonight. I hope you don't get up with too much trouble.
Trouble and me? No, never.
And he starts to roll up the window before your familiar lands on the roof of the car. The car doesn't move as it lands, but it locks eyes with you. And there's a very brief exchange of its thoughts to you. And it just conveys that they're close.
Why, thank you, Orlok. And I'll hold out my hand.
And it very quickly flits from the roof of the car to your arm, and the vehicle starts to drive away. The night is yours. What do you wish to do?
I think, going to go near where the parade is and watch from up close.
Alright. Let me turn this music down real quick. When you move to the parade, you see that the people are enjoying the festivities. It is something that many of us have not experienced for an entire year, given the nature of our world, but they are elbow to elbow. There are people who are dancing as they move around the floats on the streets. There's the floats themselves are covered in beautiful exotic looking flowers that are vibrant, blooming, colorful, and they make larger depictions of skeletons either dancing, drinking, having just any sort of revelry that seems to exude life that the skeletons no longer have. Everything is painted very elaborately and vibrant. It's a real stark contrast to what you know the afterlife is like.
There's probably just a chuckle as she watches the floats go by.
And you watch for a time, and before long the floats have left. And as the last float passes by, you notice that there is another figure across from the street, dressed in a hoodie that covers up much of their face. You recognize this individual as another Nosferatu. Their hands are in their pockets, they're not moving.
I just smile at them.
And they shrug their shoulders and they start to walk before turning around a dark alley.
Olivia will go and try to meet up with them.
Once you disappear down this alley out of sight, they walk until there's a brick wall that covers the end of it. And they turn, the shadows obscuring themselves. What is the name of your sire, and what do they look like for the camera?
Their name is Cedric Khalid, and he's got a hunchback, few wisps of hair left on his head. Skin is very stone-like in kind of nature. His eyes are also that same lifeless black as Olivia's. He's probably got on a few rings on his fingers, as he does like to adorn himself sometimes.
He just looks over at you and smiles a faint smile and says, "Well, a fine evening, isn't it, for a living to be out?"
I've always been one for this holiday.
It does let us stretch our wings a bit.
So why did you want to see me tonight?
I wanted to wish you good luck. You're part of the VtM now. You'll get to hang out with all sorts of fine individuals.
Sad that I'm finally leaving the nest.
Every parent is proud to see their little chickadees fly. It is so windy out there. It keeps sounding like something's trying to get in from the 4th floor.
Just look out the window and there's someone knocking.
Yeah, no, it's just gonna be a Lost Boys. It's fine.
It's me.
Yeah, it's Kay.
Let Kay in.
Please. It's cold. And windy.
Well, it's not goodbye, at least.
No, we'll be seeing you around.
Was there anything you wanted me to do tonight with your security?
No. I do recommend you get a bite while the grabbing is good. No one will notice a drunk in the morning.
I was feeling a little peckish.
Good. I'll join you. I'm unless you decide otherwise.
Now one hunt together for a while. Sounds like a good last day.
Right. And so why don't you give me a roll to hunt, and we'll, just for the sake of going through the motions, say it'll get you down to 1 dot. Unless you want to kill them. In which case I won't stop you.
I don't remember what our... I assume we're in our territory, yeah.
You're the area I'm describing, the little strip here that basically serves as the bar row thoroughfare for Arizona State University, probably doubles as the rack. So this would be open feeding ground. Because as I said, nobody notices a drunk going missing and waking up weary in the morning.
And on a night like tonight, it's probably...
Much easier to pull someone
Yeah.
off.
You said this was in Tempe, right?
Yes.
yes.
So it would be there specifically in this area right here. Probably somewhere along the river here. Because the university is basically these like 3 to 6 blocks. It covers a lot of ground. And all of the area around it are mostly residential housing for the students. So it's a lot of area for college kids to get drunk and party in. Please, however, make me your hunting roll, strength and brawl, with any dice that would apply. And then describe what type of meal you would take tonight. It's fair game, open hunting.
So I imagine Olivia keeps an eye to the alleys, looking for someone that's either stumbled into it or is taking a piss or whatever, just out of sight. And she just quickly runs up, basically like grabs them in a full Nelson, bites down while covering their mouth, and drinks until she's had her fill before licking the wound and just setting him down and running away.
And that's largely where your night goes. You spend the time with your sire. He manages to find a drunk frat boy to feed on, and very much does the same. Gets them fed down to a point where they will wake up groggy, disoriented, and probably thinking they had a great fun night. But you depart and you head back to your haven.
Before he leaves, she will give him a hug.
Oh. And he'll hug back. He'll say, "See you around, kid."
I expect to.
The last thing we'll focus on as you head back for the night is what your haven looks like.
So, Olivia makes her way to the river between Tempe and Scottsdale. And when no one is looking, she will essentially swan dive into the water. And letting out any air she currently has in her system, floats down to the bottom and walks through the water to a small cave, more of a tunnel, that she wades through until there is a ladder, which she climbs out and into a small bunker looking area. There's some bars hanging from the ceiling, some mats on the ground, and a fairly high-tech computer system.
Right.
And when Before when Olivia is in the Haven, Orlok is just out doing whatever he wishes. But he knows to come back by nightfall.
All right. And so the day passes. November for Arizona, unfortunately, is still quite warm. A low 90 degrees. People can enjoy wearing shorts, go out, and not have to be too concerned about the oppressive dry heat of the direct sunlight. But for you all, it's sleep, or at least what's closest to sleep for a vampire. But once the sun comes down, you all start to wake. And so I'll need from each of you a rouse check, please. Olivia gets hungrier after just feeding. Viper gets hungrier. Antonio gets hungrier. 2, 3, 4, 5. That's everybody. Okay. And so, on this new day, November 1st, there are still celebrations. Dia de los Muertos goes on for several days. And while, you gotta remember, it was a Friday, wasn't it? Yes. No, it was a Saturday. So it's Sunday. People are still enjoying time to party and cavort around. There's probably more parades and a more churchy fashioned festivities that lead to an old Spanish mission. But when night comes, people seem to be kind of fading back into the normal routine. There aren't as many make-upped individuals that are here at Orpheum when you all arrive. Besides Callista, well, actually, Callista first, what does your evening routine look like when you arrive?
Since I probably stay on site, I actually does life. I gotta look up lifelike because I don't know if that allows me to eat or not.
Lifelike, I believe it does.
I probably enjoy some people food then.
Some people food.
It doesn't really do anything for your hunger, but it does,
yeah.
Taste.
It's very much for pleasure. Anyone I may have taken, whoever I've taken to bed the night before to feed is long gone, and I probably get up, enjoy a little bit of food, take some time to make sure that I'm presentable, which for one who was sired by a Toreador means I have to look as beautiful as I can get. I do go down, make sure that my club is running fine. Check in with everyone who works there, just to ensure that everything's running up to par. And since I'm not overtly hungry, I don't go dancing immediately. I probably have a couple burner phones now just tucked away And I also feel like it's kind of weird since I'm relative or locally known. I probably do have a cell phone that's more for show. Like it doesn't have anything active on it.
All right. Who would like to be the first to arrive at Orpheum?
I
I
imagine
feel like
Olivia
Antonio
gets there.
gets up pretty early.
If you want to go first, go ahead.
Antonio is
So if Antonio is getting up first, he would definitely go drink from his blood bags, because he is hungry.
first. He just pulls a little straw from the camel pack and takes a couple sips.
Yeah, so basically, like, he has a camel pack on his front and on his back, and he has blood in the camel pack. So, like, as he wakes up, he just like takes a sip out of the camel pack and removes his hunger. And then he will head straight to the club.
Mhm.
He's a soldier, so early riser. Plus, wake with evening's freshness helps.
Do you exchange any words with Callista when you first arrive?
Yeah, I would probably search her out as soon as I get there, and just, as I see her, wave and wander over and say, I am ready to start the evening if you are.
I take it that my home is going to end up serving as our meeting grounds.
It has seemed that way to me, based on the information I was given.
Well, that's mildly troubling, but alright.
I mean, it seems an excellent place for us to gather.
Maybe. As long as it doesn't bring trouble. My sire would be very angry.
My dear, everything we do breeds trouble.
And try not to bring any hate in here.
I promise I will do whatever I can on my end.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to wander. Have you heard anything about what we are supposed to be achieving this evening?
No. I'll make my rounds. And if you're gonna wander, we can just meet back at the booth that we spoken before.
Sounds good. If you hear anything, let me know.
I'll see if I can find the rest of our coterie.
I would like to be the next to arrive as their conversation winds down.
Could Viper already be at the booth?
Viper can already be at the booth. Viper, what are you doing when the other two disperse from their conversation?
Probably is using his silence of death, just so that like no one really pays too much attention to him. I mean, he's already pretty silent, but and I think he's just sitting there, just looking out at all the people, occasionally writing in his notebook.
All right. Ark, briefly, you had mentioned wanting to be there as well. Do you want to jump in next?
Sure, I imagine Olivia goes to, like, the back entrance.
Question, storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I'm still getting used to talking with fangs.
That's fair.
Would we have been told that we would have a Nosferatu?
Yes, last week we did go over that you were missing a coterie member.
But were we told, like, who they were?
did anybody inquire who that person was?
I think Viper had mentioned briefly, because they already know each other.
So,
but that was it.
yeah. So, for anybody who's new or just forgets how I run things, if you don't ask the question when it happens, it's information that is not given to you. So, always ask the questions when you think of them, and if you didn't ask the question at the time, there's no backtracking to get that answer as if it had already happened. So, if Viper didn't inform you, you have no idea.
Okay.
All right. Ark, as you were saying.
So I imagine she would go to like the back entrance that's only used if like you need to get like pick up a delivery. Would that door be locked?
Do you keep your Haven's doors locked? How is the access open?
If I'm not expecting a delivery, then it's probably locked.
Would you like to open it?
I would.
Alright, please give me a roll. The rolliest of rolls. It would be a larceny and dexterity. Dex plus larceny, please. With any modifiers that you may have, that would help.
Three successes.
3 successes. You don't have any trouble opening this lock. The back door gives way to you, and you see that it's a storeroom that leads into a kitchen. You can hear the sounds of music going in the background. It's a early Sunday evening. There are still people enjoying the festivities and what the club has to offer.
I don't believe I was told a specific place to meet up.
You would have been told to meet them at Orpheum. Beyond
Well,
that,
I mean, besides Orpheum, like they didn't say go to the back room or go to this booth.
nope. Almost like they wanted you to be social.
What's sociability? Well, I'm just going to make my way over to the back room.
Alright. So
And
you head towards the back room. The last we see to arrive is Lucian.
when I get there, I'm going to activate Cloak of Shadows
Alright.
and just disappear.
You fade into the back room. Lucian, what do you do when you arrive?
I just saunter right through the front door like I own the place.
You see that there are many people enjoying the dance floor, enjoying the bar. All fabulous, all lovely, all handsome. They also seem to notice you when you enter. They don't approach or ask you to dance, but your entrance is noted by the crowd, and they seem to be accepting of it. People are drinking at the bars, and if you happen to look, you see that Viper is at the booth you were at the night before, and Antonio is making his way towards it. Callista is migrating her way around the floor.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
Viper would wave.
I'm doing okay, although I am wondering what our job will be this evening.
I'm wondering if we get to meet our new friend today.
I step up to the booth.
I have
and
not
see
heard
that
anything.
that they've all gathered. We're still missing one, aren't we?
Who would raise his hand?
Yes.
Probably hiding somewhere.
Okay. Do they normally hide
Yes,
from
she's the
us?
most Saratu.
Oh.
She wears a hoodie though.
She should still be spying. They're celebrating Day of the Dead still. But maybe we should migrate towards the back then, just in case.
Viper, do you have any way to reach out to her?
We could look for a bird.
I look around for a bird.
The bird is perched invisibly in the air. Did you bring your bird along? I'm sorry if I missed that detail.
I imagine yes, but she probably left it to wander around the room on its own.
All
I'm
right.
looking for a bird.
Yeah, with the decision to look in the back room, does everybody get up to go look?
Yeah,
Yes.
I already start heading there.
All right. Well, you all make your way in.
I figure we'll all go together.
You all make your way towards the back room, and sure enough, perched there on a box of some dried goods, probably like beer nuts or something for the bar, is a large black bird, and it kind of regards all of you, but when it sees Viper, it just gives a and then it flutters over to land on Viper's shoulder.
Give it a little scratch.
Yep. And
We have found a bird.
it does the air cat thing where it lifts its neck out and its beak is pointed up so that you can scratch it.
She's close.
Antonio is very amused by the bird situation.
Well, I guess that means they're here. And I am going to make myself a drink.
Does Viper
I'm just
have
going
the
to
ability
reach out.
Does Viper have
I'm just
the
gonna. Sorry.
Does Viper have the ability to communicate with animals?
Not yet.
Not
That's
yet.
my next
Okay.
goal.
You were
Olivia does
saying-
all my communicating for my snakes.
Yes. Olivia reaches out to who?
I just reach out and like pat Callista on the head,
You feel
and
a hand.
with that the cloak of shadows is dispelled.
And Olivia is presented directly in front of you as she touches your head. You end up seeing her. Boo.
Sorry, just a little jumpy. You're part of the coterie, right? Is this them, Viper?
I feel like Antonio instinctually pulls out the carriage shotgun.
Can I like push it down?
Touchy, touchy.
Please, it's hard to get my hair looking nice. Would you like a drink?
No. No.
Okay.
Piper would walk on over and stand next to them,
I finished
and
making a
have
drink.
put the bird on his finger and sort of hand it back.
It probably just flutters over. Now I was told we were having another meeting.
That's what it sounds
Who's
like.
your first?
I'm Callista, by the way.
Olivia.
Nice to meet you.
And Olivia will hold out her hand towards you.
There's a bit of hesitation, but she does reach out and accept it.
Now, what sort of business did you all get up to last night?
You notice that there is a pair of dried stains near the drain. This very same back room.
We killed a couple of people for the prince. One embraced without permission, and the other one was incredibly helpless. It was a mercy, really.
Viper would take out a notebook from his messenger bag and flip to just a normal sized notebook and hand it over to Olivia that has basic notes on what went on the night before.
Olivia will start to read it.
Go ahead and fill him in.
Okay, let me go.
Because your notes are, of course, fantastic.
Yes. So basically, I'll start where it, so it has small, descriptions of each person. There's Callista, it probably, because he would have condensed his notes from, beforehand, so it probably says, Thin Blood Dancer, owner of club. Then there's Lucian, which is Malkavian, notebook, likes playing with people. Then there's Antonio, probably in all caps, not too trustworthy. What is his? Oh, Tremere. Former Second Inquisition. And then under that, it has bonding exercise as a header. Then, just says there was blonde woman was sired by, fun woman Rose, sired by Fabian, attractive Spanish dude. That was basically it. There was Livia would probably know that he took other notes, but literally all it says was they were both useless. and then it says death, good choice. And then it says critiques, question mark. And then it says Maxwell equals shadow. And it says we gave the correct punishment, did not rush into things, worked / discussed together. As long as we stay within the tenets, he has no critiques. However, the good thing is that we made decisions, and decisions need to be made. That was really it. What he wrote down, at least.
While they're reading it, I finished making a drink and I just down it.
What did you make?
I have no idea. Let me check.
Alcohol.
What are the rest of you doing as Viper goes over these details? Drink first and then details.
So I would probably put the shotgun back and go find somewhere to sit and just relax.
Oh, wait. Did I not write down? Oh, it does have some notes on what we had discovered about thin bloods. That staking will hurt them significantly, but they will not go in the torpor. When they die, they turn to ash slower. But yeah, that's all
So
he shows you.
you see that Viper is just overloading you with information in these notes. But it does give a good summary of the way the night went.
Probably towards the end, he says, long story short, they're both dead, and that's all that really matters. Not much to know.
Olivia nods and hands back the notebook.
He would put it in
Well,
his
I can see
messenger
why we
box.
have a shadow now.
I haven't actually seen any of his stuff yet, except for his fighting.
And then Olivia's going to go over and hop into the seat next to Antonio. But not actually sit down, just crouch on the seat.
So, are we supposed to wait for orders, or are we supposed to patrol the city, or look for news?
Yeah, I'm new. I don't know how this works.
How long has it been since you were sired?
Rin, when exactly was the attack on the Tremere Chantry? I don't know how far we are from that.
When did you mark yourself down for being bit? I think we talked about this briefly, and now I can't think of where the date was. It will be 5 years ago. That's what you have written down, so I'm gonna go with that.
Okay, so 5 years.
I think there is a legitimate date. I can find that answer.
I'll look
for
it up.
you. Yeah, I can find that answer. It's not hard.
Well,
I don't know how far away we are from it in the fiction, is what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure there's a hard and fast date in the book or something.
This is October or November 1st, 2020. So if there was a date listed, then we just work from there.
2008.
Okay, so then it would have been 12 years ago.
Well, there you go.
But that doesn't necessarily.
I'm a babby.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you were turned. It just means that you took part in the attack 12 years ago. They could have been experimenting on you for a long time before you got converted.
That's true. So I guess maybe we'll stick with 5 years.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of like escaped.
Well, this is a fun party.
Party, that's the word for it. None of us were told.
Was I told anything?
So far, nobody's really been told anything other than what your job was. Making sure nobody breaches the Masquerade, and you're to deal out punishment if they do so.
Could I think back to what I know of previous VtMs, however you say it, to have done? Do they seem to patrol? Do they take orders? Do they,
You may
give
give me
just
a
basic
roll.
tasks?
I will take a roll from you, please. Give me
Fun
a wits etiquette roll to recall how other Vehmis operate.
Don't think I have any things to go with it. That is one.
This is a 1. So even with a 1, you recall information about how other cities operate if they have a Vehemi coterie, because it is the responsibility of all Camerilla to maintain the Masquerade. A Vehemi is only put in place when there are people who struggle with doing so. But you know that it's largely your own discretion on how you go about fulfilling your task. Your job is to find and mete out punishment for those who breach it. There may be times where you are called upon by the prince or even the sheriff to help, but you, like every other vampire, are largely left to your own devices until someone steps out of line.
I think I would jot it down on a sheet of paper and hand it to whoever is closest to me. Which I think I'm still by the bar, so I guess that would be Callista.
So, we're on our own then. Alright.
That tends to be how things work.
We'll drive down the street and look for anyone flying.
You see two individuals racing from the rooftops at top speed.
Immediately shoot both of them.
I think Viper would speak up and say, well, the two of us, and then point to me and Olivia, being out on the streets is a masquerade breach of itself. Unless we stick to the back.
Well,
It's not really true, especially for you. You could be just wearing contacts. Olivia, if you throw like a trench coat on with a hood, you'll be fine too.
better to err on the safe side. It would look really, really bad.
Just slowly pull up my hood.
It would look really, really bad if we were the ones to breach.
You just got this job.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
So, I can't say that I'm terribly familiar of all the vampires in the city outside of my sire and her coterie, along with the sheriff, of course. But it should be fairly easy for me to keep us notified of various congregations of humans.
Are there any places specifically that I would know of where, aside from this place, like kindred tend to gather?
Yeah, let's make a roll.
Okay.
Why don't you roll me a... With Streetwise. See what you know. Word on the street.
Girl stuff like that.
May I join?
How the antis... no, because you are not in Viper's head.
Okay.
You'd
Would you
not
like to be in
export for that.
Viper's head?
You can't. No, actually, I have unswayable mind. I mean, you can. It would be harder.
So, was that a critical? I can't seem to mouse over it.
No,
It is
was close.
It's a messy crit.
Oh, never mind then.
Okay, but it wasn't 2 10s down there?
No.
Alright.
9 and a 10. Very close.
Mm-hmm. You think about it, where there might be other places. Your mind kind of goes immediately to the information you had gotten yesterday night about, hey, you remember hearing information about a woman who pimps out Thin Bloods. That's a place where vampires hang out.
What was it? Let me see.
Do you remember that?
Her name was Misaki Petrova.
Misaki Petrova. If only you could remember the name of her establishment.
Oh, I don't think I do. Can I try to remember?
Yes.
The Thin Blood Alchemy business.
Make me a we're just gonna keep this rolling.
I know.
Since you're just thinking about this, it is a. Why don't you give me an intelligence investigation, just recalling with your headspace, names and businesses, as it were. We're just gonna get all the rolls out today.
The same thing.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 and 9.
Wow. Okay. I can't. Like, the beast is mad at you for thinking. How dare? I can't really think of anything that would be a bestial for.
I got a headache.
Yeah. It's frustrating trying to recall this information for sure, but you do end up thinking. It annoys you when you recall, because it's so on the nose. Misaki's Petrova's business is called the Half Moon House.
Yeah, I think he would, like, I guess scoff is the right word, a little. Be sort of just like, and then, if someone was watching, they would see his eyes, like brows, like, furrow a little bit, just be like, no. And then...
no.
Just no. No. That should be a Masquerade breach in itself. But yeah, then he'd speak up, and he would say, I think he would just say the Half Moon House. Half Moon House?
Please not there.
It immediately
What's there?
is familiar to Callista when it's said.
My sire is affiliated with Misaki. Same
Go
coterie.
talk to her.
If we could avoid that, that'd be really nice.
Why? Do you have bad blood?
What?
Do you have bad blood with her?
I have thin blood. I don't mean that as a pun.
You have thin blood with her.
I didn't mean it as a pun either.
No.
Well, that's-
She takes care of me.
That's the only place I can think of where we could go, unless we would just wanted to go introduce ourselves to the prince there himself as a coterie.
No.
I'm not sure which one's more frightening. Storyteller. Would me being having minor fame and connections throughout the city, would I know of various key spots that that a lot of eyes congregate where breaches might be more common? Like where there's more people?
Yeah, you want to make a roll for me?
I do!
Let's do a wit streetwise.
With... Yeah. 2
successes. Your best guess is the most likely place for breaches to happen with careless kindred is probably closer to the university. Certainly where Rose might have come from.
Well, there are a lot of people congregated around the university. Actually, Rose probably came from there. Probably more likely for people to get careless.
I mean, makes sense to me. Let's go to a college party.
Also, would we know where the half moon...
You would know where the half moon is. But you're not going to the half moon.
I know. I just want to know where it is.
You would know where it is.
Okay.
I think as they're walking, or if they're walking out, if not, Viper would walk on over to Lucian and hand a little jotted down piece of paper that just says, "Why'd you say no when I mentioned the prince?"
I just don't like all the formality and bowing and scraping and all that crap.
So why are you here? That's all the Camerilla is, really.
And most of us don't have another choice.
I mean, there's always choice. The sun
I
I
is
missed
choose
what you
to
said.
stay alive.
well, alive.
He does like to play. Could be a game for him.
Toys. There's my toys. Do you like to play?
Not particularly.
Ooh, I like you.
He does.
Maybe later.
I like to play, just not your type of games, Lucian.
You prefer the
games
ones
do you
with
like to play?
shotguns.
Oh, I should have known.
Much more up my alley.
You all
So
are
is that the
terrifying.
only gun you have?
Guns are too loud.
Not if you use them in the right way.
Well, I'd...
So are we going to the university, or?
that would be my recommendation.
I mean, if you give me half an hour with the computer, I might be able to dig something up.
Sure.
I'm cool with that. Wait, he wouldn't say that. He'd just say yes.
I didn't bring a computer with me.
I did.
I'll let you use an old one.
I also have a truck that can get us there.
So the plan is to do some computer research first.
Yes, going to look up things like recently reported dead and anything that's strange, drained blood and things like that. As well as searching through like oddities occurring in Phoenix through like message boards, seeing if anything pops up on my radar there. And yeah, just anything that seems odd in the local areas.
Alright. Olivia, please give me an intelligence technology.
Alright.
Or you know what? Strike that. It's going to be the same number, but it would be investigation, because you're doing research. I can't have you do technology investigation, but we'll make do.
Any way we do this, it's the same number.
It's the same number, yeah. It is.
I got 2s on all of them.
It's the same number. Oh, it would
Viper
be
would be like.
too.
Viper would be not like standing over her shoulder, but like close and just looking and making note of all the different things she's searching up.
So I do have an idea of how this could work with the bestial.
Oh.
At the end of the search, when I'm satisfied I have the information I need, the paranoia starts building up, and I factory reset the computer.
Yeah, no, that checks out. Dude, you were borrowing someone's computer, huh?
I think I was borrowing Callista's or
you were
Antonio.
borrowing my computer.
You're borrowing
So,
please give me.
Let's see how good my security is.
Give me a wits awareness, please. I'm gonna give you a chance to notice them trying to factory reset your computer.
So in addition to the wits awareness, I was also going to go with computer security too, because we have to put in.
I just want to see if you notice it first, because if you don't notice it, then
I am working on that.
Yeah, because if you don't notice it, I'm gonna have them roll something else to see if they can break your.
I ain't seen shit.
I ain't seen shit. Okay. And then Olivia, in order to bypass the stuff put in place, why don't we have a hold on. I'm gonna check.
The death.
Fights the death. I'm gonna check something on Antonio to see where his security would be at.
The machines rise up.
So that's where your technology is.
Punch that laptop.
Okay. I'm just setting a target number here. I'm just seeing if there's anything that would bump it a little bit further.
Just so you know, I'm sending you a message now, so give me a second.
Yeah.
Viper's watching and probably.
You can give me a wits awareness as well.
Cool. Well, then, like, yeah.
How attentive are you to all of the computer shenanigans that's happening?
See, I was thinking he because they've sort of gone, like, they've had this type of interaction before. He sort of knows what it is, but doesn't really process that, like, oh, maybe she shouldn't do that, because it's just a part of the normal ritual. Like, after we look stuff up, we delete everything. So.
Right. So, going off of the type of computer that it is, Antonio's own technology points. I've got.
So it's not my points. I had somebody do this for me. So keep that in mind.
Okay. No, but you still have technology points. I'm just using additional information to set a bar.
Okay.
For them to try and break. And you have to, like, something to remember is Nosferatu are the actual tech wizards. So even if you
that I know.
It's like, even if you have a really good military grade computer, there's a very good chance that she could just be like, oh, this is cake, and still do it. Mm-hmm. But I'm setting a target number based on factors that we have with the information you gave me and what's on the sheet. So please give me a... It's the same number no matter what I'm trying to put in here. Give me a manipulation technology roll, please.
Manipulation? Interesting.
Yeah, because you're trying to bypass his security.
Three.
On Vampire, is it make or break, or does it have to be?
It's you set the target number, and if it meets it, it's good.
Okay. Viper, you're watching this all start to happen, and when the search is done, there is a process that starts, but there is an abort key that can be selected, and you see that it comes up. Olivia, I'm going to give you your information. So as you're searching, what you end up seeing is there are a number of reports that have been popping up, specifically from the last 3 days. There have been a couple of reports of people getting killed because Phoenix is an area where there is actually like quite a bit of crime. But specifically, what's been coming up, there was a strange murder that is still being investigated in Mesa, just outside of Tempe, so over in this area here. There was a break-in into a residential home, and the family inside were all killed. You were looking for keywords such as blood drain, and so the coroner report does show that the victims were drained of all of their blood, but it doesn't give any indications of, say, bites to the neck or bites at all. And
to be fair, that's not needed.
Yeah, and when you're digging a little deeper into it, the details of the murders get a bit graphic. This was a family of 5, mother, father, grandmother, 2 children. All of the inhabitants in that house were basically found in the, I almost said basement, but Arizona doesn't really do basements. They were found in the main living room, and they had been arranged as if they had been seated, as if they were all watching TV. The TV was found on, and it was like viewing an old VHS home movie tape of theirs. Like, it was reviewed back, and they were like, oh, this is one of their old home movies. But all the family members had been arranged so that they were seated on the couch or on the floor, but they had been dismembered and rearranged with body parts that didn't fit them, and it was just swapping of the family members' arms, legs, eyes, various bits and pieces, but they were put on display to look like they had been watching home movies, and put back together.
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The body parts all came from the other family members.
Yes.
Okay, it's not just like there's a random arm from somewhere.
No. These were all. They were later disassembled and put back together, I guess is the way to put it. They were reassembled, and they identified all of the various body parts as belonging to members of the household.
Does it say how old the children were?
Do you share that information with the others, Olivia?
I will once the factory reset has gone through.
So I will take that question in consideration because it is something that would be asked whether you tell them or once you tell them.
I will eventually tell them. It's just I'm not going to do it until I'm done with the computer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I will. The answer to that is they were 2 children, so it would have been 8 and 13.
Would I be able to roll to see how much of the information I can read as she is doing the research?
No, you can just be looking over their shoulder. That's what you said you were doing.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know if she was going too fast and I had to
You're looking over their shoulder, and you're seeing this information as it comes up. I got the impression that it was just the 2 of you watching the screen. So, but if anybody else is peeking over Lucian, that's how you can find that information as well. You just glance over and see that there are kids, and it triggers your own sensibilities. But the information comes through. Is there any other questions you want to ask before we get to the factory reset?
Did it say that they're... Oh, wait, never mind. They were dismembered. I was going to say, did it say that there were any... Or I guess, were there any injuries before they died that indicated that they could have lost all their blood from that, or was it pretty obvious that it was probably a wound that was closed up? Like, would that be a logical conclusion to make up
Give me a
from
roll.
the information given?
Let's do a roll. Let's do a
Okay.
let's do a wits investigation to try and like scan over Olivia's shoulder to see if anything like that sticks out while they're checking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then research is for academics, so that would not apply. I keep getting most of similar rolls.
Mm-hmm.
So
But
it's 30.
3 successes. So when you're looking it over, you don't see that there are any other injuries reported on there. But what sticks out to you is there's a, I think it's the report when they're checking if there's any substances inside of the body when the person died. I think it's like a toxicity report or something.
Toxicology.
Toxicologist report. That's the technical term for it. But the report came back. Each of them, the reports come back that each of them had been drugged. They had been given something that would make them conscious but paralyzed when they were killed.
So, I have a specialty in anesthetics. Would it be something that I recognize?
I will say yes. Me as the storyteller, I do not know the specific thing.
Yeah, you're good.
But
I
it is a substance that, as I said, its effects, it makes you paralyzed. You can still feel everything, and you are still conscious and cognitive while it's happening.
So human torpor?
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good way to describe it. So
Sucks in me like choline.
sure, that.
Like, I know what this is.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, which makes it even more scary.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So there you go. So the important things to note: it was 5 family members, grandma, mom, dad, 2 kids. 13 and 8 were the children's ages. They were alive, fully cognitive, and paralyzed when it happened. Whoever had killed them had drained them of all their blood, and then basically desiccated their bodies by dismembering and reassembling them into a lovely home movie watching scene. And they were left that way to be found. The reports also indicate that they had probably been there for 3 days to a week, so it would have been long enough for people to notice that they were missing, and then for someone to do a wellness check. So that's how they were found. It was a wellness check after they hadn't answered the door, gone to work, things like that. And then
I feel like this was just Lucian.
yeah, might have been.
Lucian would remember.
Yeah, that's also true. And then
Oops,
Olivia.
that was me.
And then Olivia hits the button for the factory reset, and it starts.
That's messed up.
And I'll, start explaining what I had found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's real messed up, and with that,
This stinks of kindred.
with that revelation, about an hour and a half. So let's take 10 minutes to get up and stretch, and let
Yes, please.
Let it all sink
Alrighty.
in.
My muscles are so sore, I do need a stretch.
Yep. So everybody get up, stretch. We'll be back in 10 to figure out what's going on with the bodies.
I'm sorry, Reese, but
Hey, there were many
Oh,
opportunities
dude,
for you
you're
to
totally
not-
good. It makes perfect sense.
No. And there were many
this
opportunities.
is just
You
a
are
player to
totally
player.
fine.
I'm sorry,
so,
but
so out of character, you're totally fine. In character, I'm gonna be pissed when I find out.
My plan is just to close the laptop,
I've
hand it back, and say thank you, and then walk away.
I've had characters that I played for 10 years get murdered by other players, so like I'm not that worried about a laptop in the grand scheme of things. Like, I've been doing this for a long time.
These spanks are really hard to talk with. Like, I can't.
I think it's just
I always
practice.
have this list.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
I have a
it's
list-
because they're so long.
I have a list
All right,
normally.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Same here.
So I'm used to it when it comes to just,
Gotcha.
yeah, when it comes to talking. I was half debating on having Viper like talk with a lisp, but then I was just like exaggerating my lisp, but I was just like nah. I have a whistle lisp, so every time I say my S's, it's like a slight like. So it's like that could work for a snake, but
I think what's really hard is when I do my THs.
Yeah.
Or do my H's in general.
Yeah. Did you get the petite ones or the?
I got the only ones I saw. Small. Yeah, they're small.
Yeah. Also, my headphones aren't charging right now, so that's why I sound different.
That's fine.
All right, I'm gonna mute us and step away.
Yeah, I probably will too.
I'm back.
Yeah, I like how those make your eyes super yellow.
It's a really good effect.
Yes, they're fun.
I should probably get some contacts at some point.
I discovered that it's ridiculously hard to put on lipstick with these fangs in.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I have to, because when you put on lipstick, you usually just put it on, like, on the bottom and then like put your lips together, but the fangs like are taking up more of that front space.
It's
Also,
like
if you do
weird bumps
try-
when you're trying to put it on. Sorry.
Yes. I was gonna say, if you do try and go on the top too, if you go too far in to your lip, it'll get on the fangs, and it's just like, no.
Also, the
I've worn lipstick a total of 1 time and never with fangs.
I bet you look great with lipstick.
I don't really know. It was like 6 years ago or something.
I think I did it once in high school and then a few times for Rocky Horror Picture Show, but I never looked at how I looked either. It was like, dress me up, let's do it. Rocky Horror.
Someone just wanted to practice their makeup artist skills on me.
Never really did lipstick. I did a lot of guy liner and nails.
They couldn't actually do like eyeliner or anything with eyes. My eyes just started twitching.
Well, my eyelids are also really soft, so doing eyeliner is kind of hard because like the skin's like soft enough that it just keeps tugging.
That's really a liquid eyeliner with a brush. The kind I use. Yeah, it's good for that type of stuff.
Yeah, I can't do anything that's not liquid. Okay, I do have a question, by the way.
Yes.
You know those droplets in that little twist off container thingy? How do you store those? Because the twist off thing doesn't go back on it. It just is.
I don't know.
Just left them.
Yeah. Well, no, I ended up just throwing it out because it was already
it's gonna evaporate.
Yeah, and it fit pretty well in my teeth. So unless I got like a retainer or not or like an Invisalign, I wouldn't have to redo it. And at that point I would have just bought new teeth.
Alrighty, everyone's here. It's been about 10 minutes, probably just a little shy, but we'll come back now. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We return to the moments just after the factory reset had begun. It usually takes a couple minutes, but as Olivia starts unloading this information about a very suspicious police report, it has time to complete, and they turn off and shut down the laptop.
And then I will close it
as you all have time
and hand it over.
You hand it over, and there's time to process this information between the coterie.
I think Viper would speak up, like, not really realizing that, people would need time to process that information, and say, would any of you guys know anyone that would do something like that? And then look at the Malkavian.
I follow Viper's gaze to look at the Malkavian.
I don't.
Nothing like that with children.
Well, that's good.
Never children.
Sort of. Not good for our situation, but good that no one would, I guess, do it.
I don't suppose anybody knows what kind of grade drugs those are that paralyze people like that. Why they're still aware.
I do.
Are they medical grade?
Are they medical grade?
Are they medical grade?
If it is sucks, then it is medical grade. Succinylcholine. I don't know.
I guess I guess, in terms of this, does it seem as though this person had a lot of resources and was able to get this or had access to this type of thing?
Your best guess is that it is succinylcholine.
Okay.
Succinylcholine.
It's just called sucks for short.
Yeah, it's just the good suck. On the streets.
The good suck.
On the streets, it's the suck.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want the bad suck.
Viper would nod and jot down the name on a sheet of paper and, I guess, hand it to Callista.
So, who would have access to this?
Presumably doctors.
I mean, I would too. I didn't do
Viper.
Do you? You mentioned you work with animals, though. Do you do medical stuff with them?
No, that's for more the human side of it.
Piper, have you recently sold this to any serial killers?
I do not partake in business deals.
How do you get a hold of it then?
My sire does.
Can your sire point us to?
She.
Well, we could be jumping the gun just a little. We should find out who resides over that territory. Which I believe
Also,
involves a trip to the Ivory Tower.
My sire isn't up to date with kindred society. So I highly doubt she would know.
Okay. I guess we are going to the Ivory Tower after all.
Hey.
Fine.
To see the Herald, I would say.
Oh, if we bothered the prince, I'm sure we'd be in a lot more trouble.
Yeah,
I say
I
we
don't think
split
this
up,
warrants the
like,
prince's
you, Shag,
attention
and
just
Scoop
yet.
go that way.
I assume you're Shaggy.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
Viper
Shaggy, I
would,
definitely don't want to go to the Ivory Tower.
Viper would look over to Lucian again and say, is that a good compromise?
Yeah. Yep. That'll work.
Okay.
Okay, so who's going where? I'm a little confused.
Just planning on going to the crime scene and taking a look around while you guys are getting the information.
It's
I think-
a little bit harder for me to move around and not be noticed if I'm trying to. If I'm seen going to a crime scene, it might be a bit odd. I'll go to the tower.
I'll go to the tower.
Lucian?
I'll check the crime scene too.
I think I'll go to the crime scene as well.
3 for the tower, or crime scene, 2 for the tower.
Viper, I assume you had everything written down.
Yes.
Alright.
All right. Well, we'll do the crime scene first then. So those of you going to the tower, just sit back, relax, and enjoy. The 3 of you, who has a vehicle?
I do.
You do? Do you offer to give everyone a ride, or are we all reconvening through our various modes
I
of travel?
do offer to give everyone a ride.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a vehicle, so Viper would definitely ask to
Cool.
be dropped off.
You and I are going to the tower. Callista can drive.
All right. So
I
the
said,
2 of you.
I will
Never
take
mind.
the ride from Antonio.
Mhm.
Once I
Alright.
actually get in the car, I will do Cloak of Shadows again.
All right. So yeah, you shadow up as soon as you're in the car, so you are unnoticed. A good plan. So the 3 of you begin driving. It is not a very long drive from where you are in Scottsdale, leaving Orpheum. You basically get on the 202 and just continue all the way down until you can get off and enter Mesa proper. Mesa itself, it's a lot of flat areas. The buildings don't rise much more than 2-3 stories, and a lot of it is either industrial factory type, lots of warehouses, or residential suburbs mixed in between scattered pockets of desert, just flat lands or open lots. And so it doesn't take long before you're into one of these cul-de-sacs. The houses are large, spacious, don't exceed more than 2 stories, but houses are built wide and with a lot of space between residences. And this late in the evening, it's not hard for you all to get close. But Antonio, do you pull into the cul-de-sac? How do you plan on approaching this closed off building?
I will
Residential
probably pull into the block down the street as to not be super noticeable that we're pulling up to a crime scene.
building. All right. So from a block away, you all start to walk, and as you do, it is. Mhm.
At this point, I'd like to do Unseen Passage.
Okay. You start walking from this block away. Were you able to feel the warmth? It would be hot, but not humid in the sense of anybody who lives on the East Coast or northern side of the country. It is always dry, very low humidity. Maybe there's a nice breeze that blows through, but the streetlights are spaced fairly far apart, and it's a soft orange light that makes your ability to traverse unnoticed much easier. Unfortunately, Phoenix suffers from a lot of light pollution, so there's no stars to be seen in the sky. But you're able to slip by relatively unnoticed. I won't need a stealth roll from anybody as you're approaching, but you end up seeing that this house is situated on the side, the left side of this cul-de-sac. It goes in just a road, and then it forms a circle, and houses are dotted along the circle that makes this roundabout cul-de-sac, and it's one of the ones on the left side. There's police tape that bar the door. You can see that there is a two-car garage entrance and a gate that leads into the backyard, as well as a number of windows that line a patio gated courtyard. Just a small one, a half fence that rises up to your waist that can be hopped over without having to disturb the gate. But there are, windows, door, windows, patio, gate that leads to the
Does it look like either of the neighbors are home?
Yes. Actually,
Both?
hold on. I'm going to make a roll. Because you got houses on basically all sides. So let's see what your chances that somebody might be awake. And I'm going to roll this in private. If you want to make me a wits awareness to just kind of scope the area while I do this roll.
Should
I'm
we all
great
make
at
one?
that,
or...
so-
If you are looking out for the same thing he is, but you are not in his head, so you wouldn't know to be looking out for the same things he is. So there would
I've
be...
cased many houses. I think I'd know to look for it.
Certainly. Okay.
I'm just basically looking out for, lights on.
Mm-hmm. All right. Lucian, are you going to be checking as well before I continue?
Yeah, I probably would.
All right. Let's
Keep
have a
my
wits
eye
awareness.
out. Oh. Yeah, 3 successes.
Is that only 110? I can never highlight over it.
Yeah.
Okay. So then 3 successes. The Olivia and Lucian. Actually, you know what? It's not hard. All 3 of you do notice one of the houses does have a light on. It's a second-story light that is on the side of the house. It looks like there's a chance somebody could see you if you go through the back door. Or the gates to lead into the backyard. It's on the side of the house.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is go to the other neighbor's house on the other side, and then just basically walk into the gate to the backyard, so that we're not just ducking under the police tape and going in the front door.
Mm-hmm. So you're gonna go over so. I guess I should give some more information. So the way the house is set up, the gate to lead to the backyard, most houses are high walled. They're not fences, but they're solid concrete walls that separate them. So there would be a gate on the left side facing the house, and the gate that would be for the right side neighbors would lead to their backyard. Is your intention to go into another neighbor's backyard and then hop the fence? Because you said you were going to the opposite side. Okay, gotcha. Just so we're all on the same page.
Opposite side of the house that had the light on.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a neighbor on the right and a neighbor on the left, if the neighbor on the right has the light on, going to the house to the left, and then gonna hop the fence into the crime scene's backyard.
So strictly speaking, for this situation, you see that there is a light on for the neighbor's house that is on the left side. There is a light on the second story that sees the side passage that would get into the main house's backyard. So if you went through that gate on the main house, they would see it. So you're going to the right side, and you guys are going to hop that fence. Everybody give me a dexterity stealth. Olivia, you're of course invisible, so I really don't need one from you unless they goof it up.
I should be fine unless someone has aspects.
Yeah. It's like no criticals on Antonio's, or is that just one?
Just one.
Okay. So 3 successes. Yeah, you guys are good. You are all stealthy, quiet. I won't need a check to get over the fence with your vampiric strength. You easily open this gate without it making any noise, and then you're up and over the concrete wall to get into the backyard. The backyard itself, per the way Arizona works and their water rationing, yards do not have grass. The most popular thing is usually like a small patch of grass or gravel or just like little dirted areas, or just having like full-on tile. You guys find yourselves coming down.
You guys don't do like fake grass?
They can do fake grass too. Yeah, so that might be an option as well. But what you guys end up coming down onto is like cedar chips. And so there's a soft crunch, but it's not noticeable when you come through because you are the wind as you hit the ground. And you see that much of the landscaping is very desert themed. There's large rock garden, some sand, a couple of palms. There's a pool off to one side because pools are very popular. But there is a walkway eventually where the cedar chips end that leads to where the back sliding glass door would be located. There's also a number of windows that are on the wall nearest to you, which would be the side of the house. There is a set of large windows that would connect the living room with the sliding glass doors that would be in that area. And then there's also a set of small windows that look like they would belong to a bedroom. Also, there's a couple of pillars that would get you up to a patio that would lead to the second story.
Well, first thing first, can I just tug at the sliding glass door, see if it's unlocked?
Yeah.
Not trying to force it or anything, just want to see if it's actually just unlocked.
Okay. Boop. Somebody remembered to lock it on the way out. Good police work.
So what do you think?
Anyone know how to do this quietly?
Yes. On the second floor, the patio door, does that have a actual like lock on it that I could pick, or?
There is. Are you looking for? You said second floor. Are you looking for the patio door or the getting up to the second floor?
Not leaning. I know that you could only climb up. The actual patio door, like, would it be able to be picked, or is it just?
It looks like you might be able to tamper with it. You wouldn't. It wouldn't be like a lock pick, but you could. I would say you would have a tool that would let you mess with the latch that locks it on the inside.
Quietly, right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the hope. I think I'm gonna try to do the second floor. Come back down and let you guys in. And I'm gonna try to climb up one of the pillars.
All right. Give
Strength
me
athletics.
Strength athletics.
Awesome.
While they're going up, do the two of you do anything, or do you just keep an eye
Just basically keep an eye out, stay to the shadows.
Oh, what do we got here?
3 10s.
Yeah, and one of those is a bestial, isn't it?
You do like a backflip up to the second floor.
Like a total of 6.
I think the way this looks is you are able to climb it for sure, but there is some damage that's going to be put on the side of this pillar that you're climbing, where you're getting your handholds, your sharpened nails dig in a little bit, and it leaves a bit of marks as you're going up.
Like, easily noticeable, or you'd have to take a good look at the pillar?
They would be noticeable if someone was looking at them, but it wouldn't be just like they walked into the backyard and they're like, "What the fuck is that? Did something scrape the hell out of it?" But it would be noticeable if somebody was, doing like a what is it if they're like doing an inspection of the property to sell it, like somebody's going to notice that there were puncture marks into this concrete.
And I'm going to go mess with the latch.
You scramble up quickly, and you get to the top. When you get up to the top, it is just another little patio. There's some chairs there. It looks like it's just a little place for that connects to the master bedroom where they can walk out and enjoy a sunset or various things. You go up to the door there, and you mess with that latch, and you see that it is also locked.
I'd like to try to unlock it.
I will ask for one thing because I just remembered, and I don't think it's fair to sneak this on you with some... Everybody's wits awarenesses were over 2, right?
I don't think
Antonio's
was.
Your Antonio's was 1, but Olivia, you
Yeah,
had 1. Oh,
I had 2.
You had 2?
I had 3.
All right. Lucian, you would have seen this, but it may not necessarily come to mind now. But Olivia, you would know this being a security person. You saw that there was a little sign out in the front yard that people like to do when they buy home security systems. They'll stick a little plastic placard in the front that says, this home is covered by such and such securities. There was one of those out in the front of the yard, and you see that there is just a little sticker on the side of this window at the top left corner. So as you go to pick it, you see that it does say that there is a home security installed here. Are you still going to try and jimmy this lock?
No, I've never actually had a home security system. Is there a way to tamper with that at the house from the outside?
So there a mechanical way to do it, and there is the crazy techno hacker way to do it. It's not actually all that difficult to do it physically. I don't want to go into it on a stream.
Yeah. There's a couple fun ways, and I didn't want it to be like the dickish thing of the alarm going off because you didn't check for it. There is a few ways. If you, for the sake of your character being, as security specialist as they are, from what I gathered, you can pass the information along to Antonio, who probably also, given their background, knows how to at least mechanically cut some security from the outside. So he could probably help you with that from the outside, because the wonderful thing about Arizona, or at least when they built our house, was the electric box was on the outside. On the side of the house, and it always made me scratch my head because anybody could just flick that and kill all the power to your house before doing awful things. So that's the situation for this house as well. I don't live in Arizona anymore, so don't try and find me. And please, if you live in Arizona, don't go use this information to hurt anybody, please. But yeah, so it is on the side of this house. For the sake of brevity, Antonio, there is like a key lockbox that has to be opened first, but that shouldn't be hard either.
I also know real fast that home security systems it's also very vague. So some people even put those stickers on their windows, even if it's just a person that comes over and says front door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You have no idea how extensive the security is from in here, but you
better safe than sorry.
Yep. Usually the ones for when a forced entry is made are where they go off really loud. Ours was really annoying if you forgot to set it or you went through one of the side doors that automatically called the police. So those were fun. We had it was like our garage side door doesn't have a key code to put in, so if you open that one before you turn the alarm off, that one just immediately calls the police because that's considered just a house breach. So that was always fun if you forgot that and you would had to like take the trash out or something, and it's like crap. And it's like no, we're good, don't come out. But anyways, so yeah, Antonio, if you want to tamper with it or signal for Olivia to go down and mess with it, that would be the best way to go.
So I'm gonna lockpick the lock, and then I will mess with the electric once I get in there. Mm-hmm. So I actually have a specialty in lockpicking. So does that give me just a +1 modifier, +2?
+1.
An extra die.
Yep, an extra die.
So 3 successes.
Just the 110?
Just the one.
Yes.
Okay. That lock yields to you easily, and so when you open it up, you see the full display of the circuit breaker. There's of course the master switch at the top, and then the various rooms are all labeled, and then there are a couple ones that are unlabeled and they just have numbers on them.
So I guess we're just gonna shut down the whole. Just shut down all the power.
All right. So you flick the master one, and there were some like patio lights out in the front. You see those go out, indicating that sure enough it went off.
All right.
I'll get to work opening the patio door.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a lock picking as well. A dex larceny.
We got 2 master thieves.
While they're doing all that, I'm just going to look around the yard, see if I see anything weird.
Lucian's just playing on his phone.
Lucian, when you're looking around to see if there's anything odd, you see that there was a small, like, little shed that's built to the side of the pool on the opposite side of where you are. It has one of the clicky key locks on it, so it looks like that was secure. And then there was also just a little doghouse nearby, and it had like its own little penned-in area, and it has a large canopy to provide shade for it. But the doghouse is currently empty.
So, might have had a dog. Did they kill the dog? Did they take the dog?
Mm-hmm. Did they kill the dog? Lucian goes full
dog.
John Wick.
Kids are bad enough, but not the dog.
This person is of the greatest evils.
Definitely don't kill the dog, because John Wick will come after us.
Lucian is John Wick. You hurt the dog. But yeah, there's nothing really out of the ordinary. If there was anything else weird, it might have already been picked up by the police, but you do notice that the doghouse is empty, indicating that they probably did have a pet.
Okay,
I got a
cool.
3 on my larceny.
Yeah, sorry. You do open the door. You slide like a little bar in, and it's one of those where it's very hard to jimmy it, but you get it in, you lift, and you hear the click of the latch, and then the door slides back slowly, and it opens up this master bedroom to you. Inside, you see that it is a large, spacious master bedroom. There's a California king bed that looks very disheveled. It's dark with the lights out. Do you have any flashlights or anything, or even an ability to see in the dark?
I don't have an ability to see in the dark, but I think I would have a flashlight.
Okay. So yeah.
But before we go further, I am going to close the patio door and lock it again.
Mhm. Do you spend any time looking around here, or are you going to go straight downstairs and let the others in?
I'm going to go downstairs to let the others in, but I'm going to be careful not to disturb anything.
Okay. So you make your way out of the master bedroom, and as you exit, you see that it immediately opens into a hallway that overlooks the staircase that leads down. To the right, it leads to more bedrooms. To the left, it opens into a large living space, and then the staircase wraps around and goes down into another living area that leads to the front door. And so when you go down, you turn one direction to the right, you see that there's the front door. You turn to the left, it leads into the living room that would be connected to the kitchen, and then have the patio doors for the backyard. You also see the area that was described as the murder scene, which also seems to be cordoned off with police tape and little outlines on the couches.
And then suddenly nothing opens the patio door.
Antonio, or actually Lucian, you hear the sound of the patio door sliding open as Antonio comes back around the corner from turning off the power.
I have a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Are the outlines of the bodies outlined limb by limb?
No.
Okay.
No, that would be in poor taste. No, it's just like little tape outlines of where each person would have been. Not that you can see that, of course.
Yeah. I was just wondering for my own mind image.
Mm-hmm. But yes, the door's open for you all.
Here we go.
All right, Hunter, let's see your tracking.
Go in and check it out.
All right. So you end up entering, and you see that the space is dedicated to a dining room, kitchen that connects to a wide open living room space. There are couches, a couch, love seat, a small chair in front of a TV cabinet that is currently off because the power is out. But you see the scene where the victims of this murder had been. There are very visible dark stains along the tiled floors where blood had been spilled, and the police and the cleanup crew, to their credit, did a very good job of getting this place back in order. It's still definitely considered a crime scene that's being investigated, so there are spots that look like they are clearly marked off. There are little like placard cards with different numbers, or not numbers, but letters where they had been documenting and photographing evidence, but none of the remains or the evidence remains.
I did want to check if the front door looked like it had been broken open, like kicked in.
Mm-hmm. So you go and you check the front door, and you see that no, the front door doesn't look like it had any damage done to it.
And I also wanted to look at a family picture, maybe. Maybe one of the family members just went crazy.
Oh boy. Let's see. Let's find a nice family portrait. Yeah, so while they're off doing that, what are the other two of you doing?
So I am actually going to test the blood with a taste for blood, which will give me some information on the family. It gives me the resonance and intensity of blood if human.
Where are you? Where are you looking by chance to find some blood?
Where the crime scene was.
Mm-hmm. But like, are you checking?
You said like they had an outline where the murders actually took place.
Yep, but I also said that they had done a pretty good job cleaning up. So like, I'm just like, are you looking to see if they missed anything first?
Also, they had been drained.
They also had been drained, but I'm just trying to see if there's like, are you looking for a specific spot where there might have missed, like if it was in the cushions, because it also happened a while ago, so there's no wet blood here.
So yeah, I would just be basically looking in like spots that they missed, maybe like power outlet, maybe like the bottom part of a couch, or like an air conditioning vent, something like that.
Give me a wits investigation. Let's see what we can find.
Suck at that. Stop asking me to do that.
Alright. You don't find anything. It looks like the cleanup crew was pretty thorough in making sure there wasn't anything left over. But there is still plenty to work with. Lucy, anything for you?
Gosh, I don't know. I'm sure the police checked everything, but gosh.
They can only be so thorough when they think they're working with a human killer.
Yeah. Who knows how Mesa's police force is anyway.
Not very good, I can tell you.
So see, we can find stuff.
Just as long as your dice don't betray you.
The dice always betray you.
Checking the sofa cushions under the sofa. Start crawling around on the floor.
Sure. Give me a wits investigation as well.
Gosh. Yes. Why can I never find investigation on here? There it is. I know my alphabet. Wait, that's... Nope.
Okay. All right.
Oh dear.
We're doing great, gang. There's a reason I'm shaggy. I go into the kitchen and make a sandwich.
Vampires, not investigators.
You guys could have been hanging out with pimps and whores tonight, but you wanted to do a crime scene.
Could be a
all right.
party.
All right. Okay. So the two of you, Antonio and Lucian, you start looking stuff over. You mentioned like checking light outlets, looking under things, flipping cushions. It's when you go to flip a cushion, Lucian, that you notice something out of place. There is a bing bong. What is that? Oh, somebody popped up. It did a notification, but of course it showed up underneath the overlay, so that's fun. Hello, person. I couldn't see what that said, but thank you.
Hello.
Oh, Vancouver by Night is hosting. Ah, there it is. Thank you, guys. You're fabulous.
Thank you.
So, right. You lift up this cushion, and you see that there is one of the, like, evidence outlines on this cushion where there is a visible puncture wound into the cushion itself, and it looks like somebody might have flipped it over after, but it still kind of stood out. The puncture looks to be about the size of a cutting knife, like a large kitchen knife or something really sharp used to cut into meats, as it were. And as you point this out to Antonio, there is actually a bit of dried blood in it. I feel bad. I'm going to throw you guys a bone so it doesn't full stop. I gotta do it. Yeah, it's...
All right,
I mean, I'll take it.
Then I am
Yeah.
going to use the taste for blood.
Yeah. So go ahead and link the description, because I haven't read Taste for Blood yet. Or before, really. You're my first Tremere player. So then it makes a Resolve plus Blood Sorcery roll, and you have your difficulty there, so you can go ahead and do that as well. Testing of the blood of human.
Ow. I'm rolling like garbage tonight.
Oh, shoot! You guys can also re-roll at any time with willpower if you do not like your results. Would
I
you
am
like
going to re-roll.
I already...
I assumed you guys knew that. I'm sorry.
No,
I just totally forgot about it.
I
Are
always
you
ask.
kidding me?
I always ask, and I screwed it up. You can re-roll as many times
Yes,
as you...
I know. I'm going to re-roll again.
Hold on. You
Something's wrong.
No,
Like-
stop. Your re-roll is only the failed dice, so you just got yourself to 4.
And you re-roll 3 dice.
Yeah, you would only re-roll 3 dice, so I would only take the first 3 on there. Do any of those add successes? I don't know why it won't let me mouse over your dice.
It would be a total of 3 successes.
Okay, so there it is. There is a button on the sheet that is for the willpower roll.
Willpower reroll.
Yep, and it'll automatically re-roll the 3 instead of doing the whole power. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And so make sure you mark your willpower. You've spent 1.
Yep.
It'll just be the half slash on there. So that gets you to 3 successes. What that means is when it comes time for you to taste the blood, I'm going to give you the intensity first while I find the resonance information, because I always get it wrong. It is an intense resonance in it. Ah, jeez, where's the resonance page? It's not, of course, not on the table of contents.
Starts on page 226.
226. The resonance...
That's where it starts talking about the 4 humors and yada yada,
Yep.
the temperaments.
So the resonance that you're picking up on here is... Alright, well that actually didn't tell me what I was looking for. Oh, there it is. It would be based on the 4 humors, this humor would be melancholy, particularly fear. It would give the indication that these people were obviously very afraid as they were tortured and butchered, while still being very much aware and helpless.
Also, remember to decrease your willpower.
Yeah, I already told him that.
Okay.
Is there any other information on here that I need to give you? Intensity. It is a very intense fear emotion. You get the sense that it belongs to a mortal. It does... Oh. No, sorry. No. Antonio, this does not belong to a mortal. This belonged to a ghoul.
I knew it.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, this blood in particular belonged to a mortal. Tasting the Vitae also determines relative blood potency. Empire. A critical you did not get. Subject has ever committed diablerie. Yes, they eat vampires. If the user knows the supernatural creature in question. Okay, so yes. A very strong melancholy humor, and you know that this is a ghoul. So it is a mortal that has vampiric vitae in their system to make them a ghoul. They are
Okay,
not.
so I will turn around to Lucian because I think Olivia walked away, correct? Or are you with us as well?
I'm invisible. You don't know where I am.
Of course.
Unless you have Auspex.
You have aspects.
So, no. So I'll look to Lucian and just basically relay, like, it seems this person who was killed here was a ghoul. Also, a very strong fear response resonance in the blood. It could be that we're looking for a vampire that thrives on feeding on fear. Also, because it is a ghoul, it could potentially be some kind of vendetta. Maybe somebody destroying another vampire's assets.
Olivia, you had gone looking for a family portrait. When you managed to find one, you see that it is a family photo, given that it's October, or it would have been October when they were killed, going into November. This is like a holiday picture. It looks like it might have been from the year prior, but it does show the entire family. They're in very gaudy looking Christmas sweaters, and the family looks to be two young boys, dark, short but kind of curly, wavy hair. Wavy is the word I was looking for that. Dark wavy hair, greenish eyes, pale skin. The mother is blonde, housewife looking appearance, would be conventionally attractive by the like TV sitcom standards of a housewife, mom, homemaker, while the dad is dark-skinned, Hispanic, short mustache, dark hair, and then the grandmother looks like... The grandmother appears to be... It looks like somebody had spilled water on her portrait, so it looks a little faded and blurry, just around the edges of where her picture, or her body should have been in the frame. And the frame itself has a little caption at the bottom that just says, "Bless this mess."
Just because I'm curious, I'm gonna open the back.
Mm-hmm.
See if there's anything written on the photo or anything inside the frame.
Yeah, give me a what's awareness. Oh man, you guys getting these threes all night.
Yeah.
I need to make a name for this family now.
This ha ha ha, the killer was actually Lucian.
The killer was me all along.
The killer was
Wait.
me. What?
I got
that's
scared,
just-
and I was literally just about to send you a message
Mhm.
and be like, "Is it this person that I'm thinking of?" But then you were like, "I need to think of a name for this family," and I was like, "Okay, good."
No, send me the name so I can steal it.
No, it's no. It's
Player ideas
The
are always the
backstory.
best. Steal
you
player
already
ideas and
know about
pawn
these
them off as
people.
your own. That's the way
Exactly.
to do it.
That's
the
what he
best
does
way
a
to
lot
do it.
with mine.
It's the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So on the back it says to another decade of love and prosperity. I'll say this out loud because I'm typing and talking to myself. To another year or another decade of love and prosperity, the Dominguez family.
And on that note, that might actually be a good spot to end it because it is now 11:34.
Yeah.
3 more hours.
3 more hours. No, we did lose time with that that technical difficulties that ate up a half hour. So next week we will pick up with Callista and Viper at the Ivory Tower. But yes, this is great place to hang as the mystery unfolds. You guys could have just been hanging out with pimps and whores, but instead we got murder.
Hey, I said we should go to the college party, okay? I ended up here totally not of my own volition.
Yep. So thank you everybody who came out and watched. Thank you for bearing with us for the technical difficulties. I'm still not sure what happened between Discord and OBS, but basically restarting the computer put it back in motion, and then I had to turn off the thing that made the annoying cursor from moving across my screen go away, which is
we
kind
figured
of annoying.
it out.
Yeah, it's I found a way to fix it, but now it looks like I can
It
pick
just
Cadence's
works.
nose on the screen. Anyways, so we will wrap up here. I don't normally do shout-outs on this one, but hey, check Cadence out on Encounter Roleplay on Fridays, where they play in Defiant. Shay does artwork. You should commission her if she wants stuff. Reese is going to be streaming Cyberpunk whenever it comes out. Kay does great stuff on their Instagram. TikTok?
Oh yeah, Instagram. No,
Instagram.
we're not
Yeah,
gonna talk about TikTok.
I was like, TikTok? No, that doesn't sound right. Instagram.
No, I'm just calling Kay out.
Instagram.
That's the
Twit.
one. That's the one I don't know. Ark is always here, but because he is a grown boy, adult man now, he has a job, so we will see less of him, unfortunately. But we
in my defense, the application didn't say anything about split shifts.
Yeah, that's kind of sucky. But maybe we can get it changed soon. And the only other real thing for me to note is I will be doing double duty on Encounter Roleplay tomorrow, where we will be playing Shinobigami at 3 p.m., where I'll be a ninja that specializes in close quarter combat and bondage, so that's fun. And then I will be on again at 6 p.m., immediate costume change in like 10 minutes to do iHunt, where I am playing the mechanic for the group of monster hunters, and my character's girlfriend is being hit on by a group of vampires, so that's awkward, and they're gonna die.
But is your day job being a mechanic?
No, they work at Auntie Annie's Pretzels, which is why they do
That's what I thought.
They do gig work. Yeah, it's the whole thing. iHunt is about having to do side work, killing monsters to make ends meet. So yeah, that's us. Thank you all. People who were in chat, you were fabulous. We love you. Big shout out to Vancouver by Night for hosting us again. They are pretty great. If you have a chance, check them out. They do great stuff, and I think they've been playing Werewolf as well lately, so that's fun. I'm excited
Yeah, I
for
popped
that.
in a couple of times.
I'm excited for that to come out next year. We can do Werewolf soon.
Thanks
Anyways,
for Davy Jones being very talkative.
yes, Davy Jones, thank you. You're great. We will see you all next time. Thursday, we will be playing Scum and Villainy. You'll see Shay, Reese, and I again.